let's move on to characters. Now, there's a big idea. A character needs to be driven by a want that motivates his or her actions and allows him or her to develop. That is what a great story is really all about, the character being able to develop. Now, how does that work? And first of all, what is a want? And why does it matter? Now, a want can be many things. A want is basically emotions. So it can be a need, a wish, it can be hopes, dreams, goals. The most important thing is the main character needs to want intensely. And that basically shows why it's important. A want gives a story dynamic force. What that means is that the main character has such a strong emotion, like an obsession, like for example, protective love, or a hope or a wish for something, or determination to achieve something, right? Or a certain plan or a certain scheme. So if protective love is like the main motive of the character, he will do everything that it takes to protect the person that is important to him. Maybe do some really stupid things, retrospectively. And if it's a plan or a scheme, of course, he will do anything to make that scheme work, to make sure it pans out the way he imagines. If there is some strong obsession, maybe that the obsession is really harmful. Maybe we as viewers or readers don't actually want him or her to pursue that obsession. And maybe it's like some romance story with a person being into the wrong guy or into the wrong girl. And actually, like, the best friend is much better for him or her, right? This kind of standard story, or some revenge motive. And we're hoping that the person will realize that the obsession is actually not good for him or her, right? Now, this dynamic force, let's take one of our standard films, Marvel Cinematic Universe, Guardians of the Galaxy, Part 1. Ronan has an obsession about getting revenge for his ancestors or something, and he wants to destroy all of Standar, like an entire planet. Then there's Gamora. Her father, actually Thanos killed her family and then adopted her as a daughter, but genetically sort of modified her and put like implants into her and stuff. And she wants Thanos dead, basically. Then there is Peter Quill. He has an intricate backstory, but he's like the semi-good, semi-bad guy who kind of wants to make a profit, wants to have a cool life, but also wants to be a hero in a sense and do something heroic too. So, yeah. And then there's Drax, classic revenge motive. Ronan killed his daughter, killed his wife. He wants payback. So the story is quite directly driven by these forces, by these wants, by these desires. In these Marvel films, things are pretty easy. This is like very, very clear cut in a sense. But other films that are not like these blockbuster Marvel movies, there it's more intricate. Now, what that means is that often there is like an obvious want on the surface, and then a deeper underlying want. Let's take Harry Potter again. Now, on the surface, what are Harry's motives? What does this want? He knows he has to deal with Voldemort, so he wants to grow stronger. He needs to learn to fight. But his deeper motive really is, I think he just wants to be a bit of a normal boy as well, right? In the end, he breaks the magic wand because he doesn't want this kind of power. He actually just wants a normal life, maybe. Maybe. So the deeper want is often kind of more psychological. Or if you go to Disney again, let's take Frozen. Let's take Elsa. Well, on the one hand, she has been forbidden to use her powers on her life, and when she does the famous song when she goes up the mountain, she's free, let it go, let the powers go, right? She's free, she feels empowered, she can use her power, she builds her ice castle, she wants to be left alone, she doesn't need anybody. Well, but her deeper want is probably to be accepted and to have a loving relationship, which she was never allowed to have because she would put others in danger. And her strategy was to control her powers, to not feel anything. And that didn't work out. It just didn't. We saw that in the film. And, this love motive in the film was a sisterly love kind of motive. And once you realized that she really wants to be accepted and feel love and allow her sister's love and give that love back, suddenly she was able to control her powers and she was happy, and the film had its happy ending. So there was this deeper underlying motive of feeling love and acceptance, and this first motive of feeling empowered and being free and breaking free. And we often have this sort of deeper, sort of psychological underlying motive. That's a pretty powerful technique. And in fact, that technique, it gets even better if we, if a writer allows the characters to discover that want. Like if it's kind of sort of unsuspected, and we, the readers or viewers, we discover that deeper underlying want with the main character. That makes the story really fun. They can make it complicated, and there need to be events that allow the protagonist to discover this deeper want. But once they do, they feel a lot more fulfilled. The story, probably will move toward a happy ending or not. But that is what makes the story fascinating, that the character can develop, can change. These wants develop, they get more intense, and then they get more sort of harmonious maybe at some point. So that is something to watch out for. What are the characters' wants? What type of want is it? And how does the want change throughout the story?